Hi, I'm Father Ed Schmidt from here at America Magazine. Early in January, I was flipping around the TV dial and landed on the Food Network. Now, the Food Network often has a contest of some kind. It has amateurs fighting each other, out-cooking each other for $10,000 or something like that before they get chopped. Well, early in January, as I said, when I was looking around, a different kind of contest came on. And in this contest, it was called The Great Waste. In this contest, two teams were vying against each other, professional chefs. The men's team was Bobby Flay and Michael Simon. The women's team was Anne Burrell and Alex Guamachelli. And what they were to do was to go out and find food that was destined to be thrown away, destined to be wasted, destined to be tossed out, and to make a banquet for 100 people to dine on as a kind of contest. They visited a butcher, and there they found the ends of ribs that were going to be thrown out. The butcher was selling very high-class meats, but it was only the big upper ribs that were available that consumers would buy, in fact. And the short ones at the end were a little bit fattier. They weren't quite so attractive. They were just as tasty and just as nutritious, but they were destined just simply to be thrown away. Well, the same on orchards and farms. They found cabbages and fruit, all things that people left behind or dropped on the ground, but food that was perfectly good but would never be used, would never be consumed. Here they visited supermarkets who were throwing things out, food that was still within the sale date but getting close to the end. Or they learned from a gentleman they met who is called a Freegan. A Freegan is somebody who, this man was very, very well off, and like other Freegans, he visits dumpsters and finds food that's been cast away that is still perfectly safe, perfectly edible, perfectly tasty and nutritious, but that's simply being thrown out as waste. Both of the teams returned to the studio where the cooking was to take place with loads and loads of perfectly good food that they had acquired for nothing, for no cost at all. They had their contest and one team won, and the guests went away very satisfied with very tasty, very thoughtfully cooked food. The issue here is huge. It goes to consumers who don't want to buy food, the tomato that's got a little bruise on it or a peach that's been bumped, and for perfectly good reasons. You're paying top price, so why not get the best that is available? So there's a variety of issues involved in why this amount of food is simply sent away to be wasted. But the experts estimate that 40% of the food that is produced in the United States, perfectly tasty, perfectly nutritious, perfectly safe, 40% of that food available is wasted. The Food Network didn't get into all the causes or analyze very deeply, and it's not a place where you normally go for social commentary. But the reaction to what people saw there has been very interesting. I went and looked at their blog, and the people who wrote in were astonished by the facts that were revealed here and were wondering what can be done with that. We know there are hungry people in this country. We know there are hungry people every day who would love to have some of this available food, but simply we don't have the structures to provide it to them, or the incentive or the motives perhaps. Whatever the underlying cause is, there's a lot of waste and there are a lot of hungry people. And the Food Network has done a great job in opening the eyes of its faithful viewers to recognize that there is a problem. It didn't propose solutions. It didn't propose action steps to see that something is done. But in making people aware, it provided a great service to this country. Thank you.